It's been all New York Knicks all season long. Certainly this postseason, they're scoring the most points per game and allowing the fewest points per game entering the finals. The last team to do that was the 1996 Chicago Bulls, and you know how that turned out for them. Jalen Brunson, he spoke earlier today on the heightened stakes in the NBA Finals.
I feel like everything leading up to Game 1 is going to be definitely heightened, just because of the everything that goes on around it. I think most importantly, when you prepare the right way, when you do everything, you do your routines, you treat it like a normal game, it allows it to be as normal as possible for you. So for me, just trying to make sure that I'm level-headed.
And maybe even a deep run.
There's a lot of noise on the outside that we could obviously talk about, complain about, do something about, but we've always just went back into the gym, worked on our game individually, and then when it came to practice, we were focused. When it came to games, we kept getting better and better. And so I think our mentality is in the right place at the right time, and we just gotta stay focused and keep learning. Even today, we can't be satisfied just because we're here. We gotta continue to keep learning.
Well, certainly the San Antonio faithful and dogs are ready to welcome Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks here as the NBA Finals are set to get started tomorrow. Shams Charania joins us here on the desk, our senior NBA insider. And Shams, usually you're rocking the leather jacket. No leather jacket made.
No, it's not. It's not.
He wanted to show off his guns a little bit today. He's been in the weight room.
Look at Malika, though.
I know.
Malika does not care about the weather over here.
I dress for the swag, guys, and I'm paying for it. Trust me, I am sweating up here. But if the New York Knicks want to make San Antonio sweat, Perk, what is it going to come down to?
Listen, I know they have a big fella down here in San Antonio, but guess what? They also have a big fella down there in New York, and his name is Big Body Brunson. And he has been the best player in this postseason in my eyes. And this team got a little tension now. I'll take you back 2 years ago. This Big Body Brunson cooking down here in San Antonio. We had a career high 61 points in an overtime loss. But I want you to look at Wemby reaction. No, you don't get the game ball. I'm throwing it in the stands. Fast forward to this season. Now they're trying to do the drop coverage with Wemby. Great job by Mitchell Robinson setting the early step-up screen. Here you go again, another adjustment. Now all of a sudden you put Wemby on Josh Hart. What do Josh Hart become? The screener. And now Jalen Brunson is coming off for the big-time three-point shot. This is going to be a brawl for it all. Big Body Brunson is not going anywhere. He lived for these moments, and over the past 3 seasons, he has been one of the best playoff performances in the game.
Let's pull on this. Let's pull on this thread a little bit here, Brian, because essentially there's a domino effect that you're talking about here. What the New York Knicks are trying to do is pull Victor Wembanyama out of the paint.
Right.
And just one of the ways that they can do that is by Jalen Brunson hitting those pull-up threes, which he's done at an unbelievable clip.
Yeah, so look, obviously Brunson is going to want to try to shoot it over Victor. Now, they invested a ton of capital into Karl Towns because you want to make the center for the team have to move out.
Always in the right places, and we do all the little things to give us the best
opportunity. Put Victor Wembanyama on to Josh Hart. This is what teams have been doing strategically.
Cavaliers did that, though. How did it work?
Well, analytically, Malika, in Game 1, it worked for the Cavs, and Josh Hart ended up getting benched in that game. In Game 2, you may remember Josh Hart dropped that dagger into the Cavs. And so, look, here's the bottom line. Josh Hart is shooting 30% on threes in the postseason. So it strategically will make sense to put Wembanyama on Hart, have him stay near the middle, and defend Brunson as a secondary defender.
And had the right approach.
Several times in this postseason, Josh Hart, who was a 40% three-point shooter, has crushed that strategy. So at the end of the day, Josh Hart has to make Victor Wembanyama pay attention to it.
So earlier today, I asked Victor Wembanyama, what do you think of the idea of sort of sagging off of Josh Hart and being a roamer the way that you were in the regular season? And he said, what do I think of that strategy? I'll have to ask the staff about that. And I said, you're not going to tell me any more about if that's the strategy you're going to employ? He goes, no. And that's all we got from Victor Wembanyama on that, Danny.
Not surprised by it at all. You know, Spurs are very in-house. They're not going to give any secrets, share anything to you. I expect that to happen. So Josh Hart, if he wants to be effective, he's going to have to knock down the threes. But when it comes to the Knicks side, he's talking about big body Brunson. I'm going to look at the other big bodies. And that's Mitchell Robinson and Cat. Like, that was their advantage for them in the regular season against him. That big lineup. Hartenstein gave him some, but Victor's a different player now. He's grown a lot, especially going through that series with OKC. So he's seen that matchup before. But that's going to be something that he's going to be challenged with, and we'll see how well he does against it.
But Mitchell Robinson is a question mark here because, Shams, as you reported, he injured his pinky going into this series in that off period that the New York Knicks had since the Eastern Conference Finals. What do we know about his availability for Game 1?
Malik, I'm told that Mitchell Robinson still fully plans and resolute on playing in Game 1 on Wednesday night against the Spurs. The Knicks still must clear him for that game. What he has is a broken pinky, but even more specifically, damage to his fifth metacarpal. And as we see him right there, no brace, no splint, nothing on that right hand. He's going to need to wear a brace, I'm told, a pretty sizable one, in order to be able to play. But how did this all happen during the Knicks off week? That is the question. The details are murky. What I can say, what I do know, is that Mitchell Robinson hurt himself at his own home. And so, ill-opportune time for an injury, of course.
Well, with that information, that's enough for me. And I know one thing, he better be out there Game 1. Because when you have a non-injury outside, when you have an injury that has nothing to do with you battling between the lines or at practice, damn it, you owe it to your team. Because if you don't, it's going to be hell and hot water. Because the Knicks haven't been here in the month of Neverwhere. The month of Neverwhere. Forget 50-something years. The month of Neverwhere. And now you have an opportunity to go and capture. And the bad part about it, I hope he do well. But in that conference finals, he was playing some outstanding basketball. And I was listening to Mike Breen, Tim Legler, and Richard Jefferson. And they was talking about basically Lisa Salters reported how he put everything to the side. There was a distraction, and he was solely focused and locked in on the moment at stake and those guys in the locker room.
But you mentioned, Shams, that the metacarpal part of your, that's not this part of your.
What is called?
It's the bone that essentially attaches the pinky and the wrist.
So you're talking about your hand
essentially
and his
the
ability.
backside.
You go out there and you do what you do.
He's become the first unanimous Defensive Player of the Year in NBA history. He made first-team All-NBA, and he was third in MVP voting. He was also the Western Conference Finals MVP. Moments ago, I caught up with the Spurs superstar.
Victor, here we are. We are in the NBA Finals. And throughout the year, I think there's been so much made of the age of this team. And every single time you've said, you know what? Age, experience, we don't care. And yet, you're the youngest team to make the NBA Finals since 1977.
Really?
What is so special about this group?
What's special about this group? As for any team, the individuals, we got some great individuals, whether it's in the staff or in the team. And I would say the relentlessness and the lack of experience is a strength of us.
What do you mean by strength?
Because we don't know. We can do impossible stuff because we don't know it's impossible.
I like that way of thinking about it. And as much as you talk about the inexperience in some ways of this team, there's experience up and down this organization. And that probably starts with Greg Popovich.
Except for it.
What has he told you about this stage?
About the finals, nothing really yet. But he's talked to us all through every game of every series. And he's been our guiding force really through loss and wins.
I think the common sentiment, Victor, in the NBA is be patient. You'll get there eventually, but first you have to go through it before you get to the mountaintop.
Yeah.
You gave me a look like you don't think that that's true.